6:30. We will now begin the public hearing of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, June the 5th, 2012. I will turn it over to Mr. Bruce Richardson, our city administrator.
Tonight we have 3 items on the agenda. The first one on the agenda is ordinance 2012-05, an ordinance to amend the 2011-2012 fiscal year general fund budget and capital plan for 2 public works vehicles. If anybody would like to speak on this item, and only this item, please step up to the podium and address the board with your comments. Anybody like to speak on this item? Give everybody a chance. Seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing for this item closed. Go on to the second item on the agenda, which is ordinance 2012-06, an ordinance to amend the 2011-2012 fiscal year police impact fees fund budget for communication equipment. Here again, if anybody would like to speak on this item, please step up to the podium and make your comments. Make a final call. There being nobody coming forward, we'll declare the public hearing for this item closed. Move on to item number 3, ordinance 2012-07, an ordinance of the City of Laverne, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2012, and ending June 30th, 2013. If anyone would like to speak on this item, please step up to the podium. State your name and address for the record, please, and make your comment.
Ann Cox. I live at 247 Waldron. I live on Waldron Road. Where all the dust and the stuff is. Mayor and Alderman, every time I've spoken with any of you all, I've always said that I thought I could cut the budget. And it's always been, show me, don't tell me. Well, tonight's going to be show and tell. The first item that I looked at was what you all have set out in the budget for the longevity bonuses, whatever you want to call them. And I feel that that needs to be, it came to $54,000. That's what you've got budgeted for the coming year. I feel that that needs to be in a separate account where it's drawing interest. It'll give you seed money to go on to the next couple of years. And that's just my feeling on it. Also, I've spoken to several of you all, would you work for nothing? And I always got sort of an answer, so I decided that what we would do, what I'd like to do, is to cut your salaries. And with the FICA taxes, we would save $31,577. And I mean, that's how I grew up. We never drew a salary for any of our positions. It was always donated back, whether it was to the state or to the city or to the county. Also, I had a little problem with why the mayor and the aldermen need uniforms. I know that you have a clothing allowance in there for $200. And to me, I don't understand why. And I mean, maybe I'm being a little stupid, I don't know, but I'm not really sure about that part of it, and I don't agree with it. The next item that I want to go to is the city recorder. And I think that I met with Bruce yesterday, and he shot very straight with me on some things. However, this has been increased up to $10,818. I do think that we need to bring that back to what it was last year. I know that we have some extra employees, but we've increased it, especially on the repairs and maintenance, by $4,000. And to me, that's a little extravagant, especially when it comes to this time and this place, as far as we're concerned on saving money. The next one is in the tax administration building. The new addition there that I think that really disturbed me was $7,000 on professional services. I'm not sure what those professional services are, and I'd like to know. If I'm paying, you're using my money, and I like to know how you're spending it. The next thing is in the treasurer's office. And I think that I worked this out with Bruce where some of the people are on wages and some of them are permanent salary employees. But I did cut that down by $15,775. In the engineering department, it was reduced by $50,000, and I think that that this was something that probably needed to have been done a long time ago, and it's just now getting around to happening. Okay, let's see. Okay, the next department that I'm going to pick on is the police department. And you and I have talked about this, about if you have an employee who has to turn in their time, that we say that we're going to pay them in time off from work, if they have to turn that time back in, not through any fault of theirs, but because we don't have employees to cover their shift, I think that we should cut a check for that. You and I have talked about that. That's just how I feel about it. I think that we have to appreciate our employees. And the older I get, the more I appreciate some employees. And the next thing, I would like to commend and give a great big hug to whoever came up with the idea that we should lease automobiles to get out from under a $285,000 repair bill. I think it is ridiculous that we have paid that kind of money in repairs on 6-year-old vehicles that have 200,000 miles on them. I'm very conscious of the cost of a vehicle for the police department, but I do think that $285,000 for repaired on not good vehicles is just a waste of time and money. I think Bruce told me about that. Okay. Finally, you all got on a good page with me. You took the money away from PAWS, and that was my feeling exactly. We're going to take it away from PAWS. We're going to divide that between the rescue squad and the police squad. They're the ones that are doing the work. PAWS is not doing any work, not for us, that I have seen. They don't even answer phone calls. I like the idea that you took Box 100 off the table because they did not have their nonprofit paperwork in order. And then we come to the chamber, which is a pet peeve of mine. And I spoke to Bruce in length about this yesterday. I'm very unhappy with spending $78,000. And I know, Tom, that you said that it sends 2 people from here to the convention to hopefully bring in retail. But $78,000, and that's all they do for us, I think is, and I brought a couple of magazines. This one is the one that is produced by the Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Not only does it give every member of the chamber, but it gives you a history of Wilson County. It shows the Phoenix Ball. It talks about Cumberland University. It talks about a lot of things that I think that we could use to help ourselves. And I'll let you all have that one. The second thing that I think that we need to do, I think we need to push the chamber. They need to co-partner with you all and have a business after hours. I don't know if you've ever done it or not, but I do know that it's very successful in bringing your retail together. Have they ever held a job fair? Have they even offered to partner with you in bringing a job fair for the young people who are going to be graduating high school on how to do a resume, how to fill out an application? That's another suggestion I have. And to get your kids and to get the dog problem under control, have them co-partner with you on a bark in the park. You'll bring these rescue groups in here. You'll have a veterinarian there to talk to the kids. You'll have the police there. You'll have a little show for the kids. All the kids that enter a dog or a cat get a ribbon. It's just a way to bring this community together. And I feel like it's not pulling together. I feel like we need to do something to pull us all together. Now, I know that this is a magazine that we can't afford. And I tried to find one of the first ones that we did when the Wilson Post was the Wilson World and the boys started with no budget at all. These are put out every 2 months. It tells you about Wilson County, what's going on, what we can look forward to, how to bring your community in together, how to be a little bit more. And I know y'all are tired of hearing about Wilson County, but that's where I came from, that's where I grew up, and unfortunately that's where my experience is. And when I see things going awry, it just flies all over me. I'm old and I can't help it. Up at the park, there were a couple of things that bothered me up there. I just think that some of this needs to be brought down into the line of where it was last year. I mean, we're $76,500 over budget. I don't know exactly what you all are doing about that, why it's there, but whatever it is, I think that the people of Laverne have a right to know. Then we get to the economic and development. And you all have budgeted $4,500, which is $500 over what it was last year. I have seen no production from this department. There's no retail. I talked to a couple of people, young people who live here in Laverne, and they didn't even know that we had a couple of good restaurants here. One works in Nashville, one works in Murfreesboro. We're not promoting ourselves as a viable community. And I think until we do that, we're not going to have retail come in here and ask. And one of the questions that I have is, whoever is doing the economic development, whoever those people are, do they have the authority to go out there and ABC Company wants to come and move into Johnny Joe's little building down here? It's a good company. They're going to upgrade the building. Are we willing to give them a tax break? Are we willing to work with them and help them come? I've spoken to a couple of people who have been interested, and they're not anymore because they don't feel like that we're offering them anything as far as infrastructure and tax breaks are. And I know that this is a bad time to be talking about tax breaks, but that's how you get your people to come in under a contract. And we've got to do something. You cannot continually increase the taxes and the water and the sewer and everything that the people pay. You've got to do something to help. And it's just my personal opinion, and that's just the way that I look at it. And the public relations, I had a problem with that, and I found out that actually is our nonprofits. So, and it also includes Kathy, and I think she's doing a good job. At least she's out there trying with us to get a welcome to Laverne sign up. I don't know how good that's been, and she and I haven't really had a chance to talk about that. The sewer maintenance has been increased by $375,000. Does this include new vehicle and new equipment? There again, I go back to the defunct equipment that some of these departments are using and why we're still running trucks on the rims. I don't understand it. The other two things that I really have questions about is the code red. I actually do not think that you're going to reach the population that you think you are with code red. I know that if it comes over my cell phone, I'm going to go, I'll have to call JW to find out how to get it up because I don't know how to operate my cell phone. And 99% of people 70 plus years are not real good with their telephones. Talked to Bruce about the lightning detection. And since we don't have a lot of coaches with a lot of common sense, that probably is something that we are going to really need. I understand that the pay grades are within the 3% that is normal for this type of entity. And so far I've reduced your budget by $1,159,344. And I would like to know why you're having the budget hearings now when it's already passed on first reading. Why are these hearings not taking place prior to the first reading of the budget? And that's about all I have to say. Thank you for allowing me to stand up here and sort of vent my frustrations and share my thoughts for the community.
Thank you, Ms. Cox. Does anybody else want to speak on ordinance 2012-07? This is the budget ordinance for next year and tax rate. Anybody else want to speak on this item? If not, we'll declare the public hearing closed for that item. Mayor?
Okay. We will now call this public hearing closed. We'll be back at 7 o'clock to begin the regularly scheduled meeting. I don't believe we have any citizens' comment. It is now 7 o'clock. We will begin the meeting for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, June 5th, 2012. We do have a quorum. We will have the prayer by Alderman Green, and I will lead the pledge. So I'll stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us. And dear Lord, we thank you that we live in a city that we can be comfortable with and that we can know each other and love each other and help each other along the way. And dear God, we just pray as we're here tonight and we make decisions, maybe not always the best for either of us, but we do our best. And dear Lord, there's lots of prayers and thoughts that go into everything that we do. And Lord, we pray for the people that are less fortunate, for the ones that are hungry, the ones that have no jobs, perhaps maybe no home, no place to go. Lord, help us to always be aware and be willing to be with those that we can help. And we just thank you so much for our country. We pray for our president, and we pray for the election that's coming up, dear God, that you would put the one in place that needs to be there. And Lord, we just thank you that our country is free, and we thank you. We have just celebrated Memorial Day, and we thank you for all the men and women that have lost their lives. And we continue to pray for the people that have lost loved ones in the war. And be with us as we go through this night. And dear God, I pray a blessing on each and every home in this city. Amen.
Amen. Place the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I hope everyone has had a chance to read over the minutes for May 1st, 2012 regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve or to deny?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have 2 seconds. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. We will now have our department reports, beginning with Fire Department.
For the month of May 2012, got a total of 78 calls. They consisted of 4 structure fires, 11 fire alarms, 4 vehicle fires, 1 grass fire, 3 hazardous materials calls, 18 motor vehicle accidents, 16 medical calls, 9 emergency miscellaneous calls, and 12 non-emergency miscellaneous calls. The average response time for the month of May 2012 was 3.1 minutes, and the total water consumption for the same month was 22,700 gallons. Any questions?
We'd like to welcome Chief Gafford and his lovely wife with us tonight. Thank y'all for being here.
I just want to thank you. Give a thanks to the fire department again for standing out there and giving up their part of their Memorial Day weekend and helping us promote Code Red at Kroger. And I think it was pretty successful that day. And again, it was a little hot, but appreciate you all coming out.
Yes, sir, no problem.
And also on those structure fires, your guys know how to kick butt on these fires, let me tell you. But, I mean, we had 2 good ones, and y'all got in on them quick and did a really good job. So
Thank you, ma'am.
we'll brag on you in front of your chief here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Police.
I told him he could pay you later.
That's right, that's right.
Chief, you want the truth, come talk to me, okay? This was an eventful month with a whole lot of things happening, but I think you can see some of the things from some of the events that we had this month with the police department. You can see some of the things that are beginning to come around and are beginning and are really moving forward. One of the things I want to point you to is on the January through May portion of the total calls for service and offenses reported, you'll notice that there appears to be about a 3,400 calls for service decrease. And the reason for that is I went back through and there were a lot of things that were being showed as a call for service because that's what had been required before. When you did certain things, you had to call it in, and it was not a call for service. It wasn't where we were being asked to do something or we were being requested to go and respond. I think the 11,555 is probably a decrease from what it was last year, but it's a much more true picture, I think, and it's going to take some time before we can get there. The other thing that I found this month that was disturbing, if you'll look down under the offenses reported year-to-date, 2011, 2012, you'll see child abuse neglect, 1 last year and 101 this year. Those numbers are not correct. Part of the problem is that they were not being accounted for accurately, and last year they were being required to show them as an information-only report rather than actually as an incident or offense. And that's not a true picture of what we should be doing there. So as we keep digging and digging and digging into the data, we're finding some more things there that aren't correct, and we'll continue to work on that as we go. Of course, the biggest problem we have is going back and getting accurate numbers out of the database anyway because of the CAD and RMS that's there. But I think some things that you can see, the offenses reported are still showing that they're down, even though we're reporting offenses this year that weren't necessarily reported correctly last year. We're still seeing a 7.1% decrease this year, and one of those is burglary to residence, and there's no playing with numbers in this one. Those are true numbers, and that's about a almost 50% decrease. Fraud cases are up 43.8, and misdemeanor assaults are up 44.7. And I guess one of the things that makes me feel better than anything are the domestic assault or trouble offenses are down 13.8% in the first 5 months. Rape, sexual batteries down, even though we've had pretty tough month when it comes to some cases that our guys have really worked hard on, guys and gals, and CIDs really had their hands full. We can't really discuss them right now, but down the road I will, and they're heartbreaking. Thefts are up very slightly, 4.8%, and vandalism is down this year too, 34.1. Some of the things that we had this month, it's kind of hard. If you look at our bottom line with overtime, it's kind of hard to understand because we had $41,000 we received from a Governor Highway Safety Office grant where we're doing additional patrols, looking for drinking drivers and offenses related to that. And that money actually comes out of the budgeted line item overtime, but then is replaced by the grant money. So the accounting there catches up down the road, but not right now. We had events this month, Smyrna Air Show, where we had to work traffic on our side and have additional people there available for it. LHS hosted once again this year the Division II Spring Fling Baseball Championships. They requested us to be there, and we had 2 personnel there both of the days that they hosted without incident, as a matter of fact. Rock Springs Elementary School's Spring Fling, they call it, which is a carnival-type atmosphere on a Friday afternoon. For the first time ever, we were invited to participate. We went, were there, had a really good opportunity with children there at that, teachers, parents, etc., and had many adults that said, "Thank you for being here. We're glad to see you." So that's a first. We had DARE graduations at Laverne Lake Elementary and Rock Springs Elementary. We had 2 baseball tournaments at Vets Park, and we'll have another 2 in June, and we're providing personnel for that on a regular basis. And we've had Don't Look Ethel during one of them, correct? More or less, which gives you an idea of why our folks really do need to be there. And then we participated and escorted and took care of Carry the Load. And for those of you who missed that, Carry the Load was the flag. That was a retired Navy SEAL and a retired Marine who were the retired Navy SEAL. Coleman Ruiz from Dallas, Texas, was walking from New York, from West Point to Dallas, Texas, 1,700 miles, and carrying the load. And they had various people from the community. We had one of our own city residents that happens to be a neighbor of mine that was there and knows Coleman because he taught some classes for the United States SEALs, U.S. Navy SEALs. And he was called and invited, and I saw him. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "What are you doing?" But it was a good event, and they're planning on doing it again. And when they do it again, we'll hopefully have it bigger and better the next time with a lot more participation from the community. But we didn't know about it and only had like 2 days to plan for it, trying to get the word out. Any questions?
It was awesome.
It was.
It was awesome.
It really was.
Any questions? Thank you, Chief. Rescue.
Mayor, Alderman. We had 1 medical call, 20 vehicle accidents, no water missions, no fires, no search, 62 other standbys, 1 business meeting, 2 training sessions, 9 public relation events, and 6, I'm going to say probably maintenance issues that we worked on. Our time response was 3.35 minutes. We had a total of 1,914 miles and 1,524 hours worked this month. Any questions?
Any questions? Good job. Thank you. Codes. Again, we'd like to welcome our new codes director, Mr. Randolph Salyers.
Building permits issued were, single-family dwellings were 6, commercial was 5. There were 14 miscellaneous, 1 sign, 1 garage and/or shed, 4 other inspections, which could be additions or remodels, for a total of 31. The complaints called in for May were 61, 4 tall grass, 4 of them junk cars in the yard, 11 for trash in the yard, 9 others. Impact fees were $5,304. Park impact was $1,866. Police was $672 for a total revenue of $20,043.50. Total single-family impacts year-to-date, 16 issued year-to-date. Permits issued during the same period last year was 8. Total number all year-to-date is 114.
Any questions? Questions? And while we're here, I want to also say a big thank you to Kyle Brown. Kyle has always stepped up for the city, took care of the codes department during interim positions, and did a real good job of taking care of us, and never once complained, and always was there for us. And Kyle, I just want to say a great big thank you, and I think you deserve a great big round of applause. Thank you, Randolph. Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, Mayor, Aldermen. As you're looking at the report, you can see we're making the transition from inside to outside. Now it's that time of year for us. You'll note too that no numbers were reported for Zumba. There was actually an occurrence, but I don't have numbers or revenue generated. We had our summer camp sign-ups during the month of May. Straight up, the numbers are down a little bit, but it's a kind of across the board. PAL's numbers were down for their camp. I don't have an explanation. We're doing it. We got 30 kids on our best week, so we're going to do our best for what we have, for the kids that we have. LBSA, as Chief mentioned, did have a tournament, 2 tournaments in May. Went really well, brought a lot of revenue to the city and the county. Also, the senior prom was May the 5th. That was a great time over at the senior center. Looking forward, we got a big month coming up and a big 90 days really coming up. Again, our camp starts on Monday. It's a 6-week camp for the kids, ages 6 to 12. Music in the Park, we've never done that here that I'm aware of. Music in the Park is going to be this Saturday, 7 o'clock at Veterans Memorial Park. We'll be back in the back by Pavilion B on the hill going up towards our building. I encourage you to bring a blanket, chair. We'll have some bleachers out there. We'll have food for sale, ice cream for sale, and just it's going to be a great night. It's actually Miss Carrie's son, Scott Smith, and his band Chainbreaker will be performing. So we're looking forward to it. It should be a good time, and the concert's absolutely free. We got Patriotic Picnic in the Park is July the 4th. We're working towards that. That'll be on actually July 4th this year is a Wednesday. Not the best for us, but we're going to run with it. And Wednesday the 4th at 5 p.m. we have Missy Garnett Band. She'll be performing, and we'll have the fireworks at 9 o'clock also. And then 90 days out, Howl at the Moon is coming. That's our 5K run that we do at night. And that's gone from 86 the first year that we did it to almost 400 participants last year. So, you know, we're knocking on the door to a lot of events coming up, and Old Timers Festival is 120 days out. Can't believe it. So we're booking entertainment for that and getting the carnival and all that stuff laid on. So we've got a lot of things up in the air, but we're excited. It's going to be a great summer for Laverne, and as Ann spoke to earlier, we're pulling the community together, lots of events, and we'll do our part. Any questions of me?
Movie in the park.
Movie in the Park, August the 17th. Don't have a title for that yet because they haven't released the movie schedule that'll come out for this summer, but I don't want to tip my hand, but I think we got a couple of good ones we're looking at. So that'll be on the football field. That'll be another event that we've never done here that has met with great success in some of our neighboring communities. So I'm looking forward to that one too. So
I think y'all are doing, Parks and Recreation and Department, the board is doing a very good job on pulling this community together. We have had several events that we've never had here before, and it's there for the taking, and you're doing a very good job. And I just want to personally say thank you to all of y'all for doing that.
thank you. I'll pass that along. Thank you.
Finance?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Aldermen. Tonight's financial report represents year-to-date through April the 30th, which is 10 months into this current fiscal year. For the general fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $3.5 million. In our local sales tax, we've collected approximately $2.9 million. That's $127,000 better than budget and $177,000 better than prior year. In the State Street Aid Fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $12,000. In the Stormwater Fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $321,000. In the Water Sewer Fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $742,000. The next page represents our balances in our various bank accounts. I won't list all those. We'll go on to the next page, which is a comparison to prior year. In the general fund, compared to prior year, we have received approximately $3 million more in revenue than expenses. And in the water sewer fund, we've received approximately $3.1 million more in revenue than expenses. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you.
Library?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen. In May 2012, the library checked out 8,791 items. We had 8,975 patrons visit the library with an average per day of 374. We issued 59 new juvenile cards and 148 new adult cards last month. We ran 24 programs in May with a total attendance of 352. And 3,043 people came in to use our computers. We had a couple of important events in May, our first ever family scavenger hunt, and we'd like to congratulate the Schmackel and Martinez families for getting first and second prize. And we also had our spring book sale, which we earned about $850 this year, which we think was a pretty good result. Summer reading started this past Friday, and it felt like half the town came in to sign up. We expect to see the rest of you before July is over. We already have 400 people signed up in any one of our 3 programs, and I'd really like to highlight our adult program this year. We're offering more programs than ever for people 18 and older. Emily and Tammy have been working very hard on it. This Friday at 5:30, we're showing a film by Alfred Hitchcock, and our license doesn't allow me to name the film, but it's probably his most famous one with the shower scene. The knife. You all know what I'm talking about. You have to be at least 18 to attend because it is an R-rated film. Let's see, on Saturday at 1, we are giving a photography class. Actually, we have a local photographer coming in, Bob Ellis, and he's going to be doing that for us. And I should mention that at every adult program this summer, we are giving away a prize, most of them donated by local businesses, so a big thank you to everybody who donated to our program this year. Each adult program you attend gives you 2 entries into the drawing for a Kindle Fire. Very exciting for us since we do anticipate adding ebooks to the library's collection this year, so that'll be a good prize for somebody, I think. And to bring the reading aspect of the program to the front, Emily and Tammy have designed this program called Blind Date with a Book, where we've taken some books off our shelves, wrapped them in newspaper, so you ask the circulation clerk for a blind date book, and they give you this book, and you don't know what it is until you take it home and read it. So hopefully you've tried something new and come back and tell us what you thought about it. The only other thing I had, this Saturday, assuming that the consent agenda passes, we will be having a fundraiser in front of the Save Lot from 7 to 10 a.m. So come out, support the library, enjoy some donuts, and that's all I have. Anybody have any questions for me?
Good job.
We are also giving coupons out. You can buy a coupon and then enjoy your donuts later if you don't want to get them on Saturday. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Water treatment?
Evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. We have our monthly summary for the month of April compared to 2011. Our volume processed is down a bit. We had the meters calibrated on May 8th of this year, so they will be a little bit closer to the actual numbers now. They did a actual drawdown of the clear well versus the meter flow itself. We found out the finished water meter was about 13% overreading, so it needed adjusting. The raw meter was down about 0.8%, so it was pretty close. So that'll all play out next month. All of our testing parameters are well within the normals. The reclaimed water from our Paul finished water filtrate, it's about 2.6 million gallons for the month, which equates to about $4,500 in savings not going to Metro, that we're actually recycling the water. Our chemical usage is kind of comparative. We've kind of cut the cost since the actual gallons were less, the chemical costs were less. And our maintenance for the month was at $5,020, which leaves a balance of $47,255 for the remainder of the contract year. Our quality calls were all about pressure this month. Taste and odor hasn't really hit. And that's what we're talking about with the lake. The lake is about 3.5 foot below level for this time of year. So the water is just reading really still out there right now. And that's going to present some treatment problems on the future. The water is just warmer and warmer. Rainfall was at a little over 2 inches. That puts us right now, we're about 7 inches below for the year. So that's going to affect fire, everybody else for drought situations. Our cross-connection program's going still well. We have 712 units known about, and our invoices collected for the month was $1,040. And our water quality reports will be coming out this billing cycle for June. I don't know if y'all saw the sample copies of it. They look pretty good. Bruce and I talked about a new design for next year to kind of spruce it up a little. That's about all I have.
Any questions? Question?
You said the lake is down and the use is up. Does anything people need to do to conserve or right now?
No, actually, our water usage is about normal. It's just the lake is not getting its flow into it, so it's not even up to summer pool yet. It's just the amount of rainfall we're getting is well below normal. But our reserve in the lake is fine. We've been reporting to the Corps engineers, and our reserve lease is still at 100%, just about.
Okay, so we're in good shape.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Thomas. Public Works?
Mayor and Board, good evening. In the sewer department, we saw 132 work orders, which is 9 more than last month. The overtime in the month of May was up 23 hours. You'll notice in the detail below that there was 30 hours of overtime response in grinder pumps. That's about 22 hours more than we spent along the same issue in April. So the lion's share of that increase in overtime was at grinder pumps. In the water department, we saw 244 work orders, which is up well over 100 from last month as the weather got a little milder, a little drier. In many cases, water leaks are made more evident naturally. So that was the the driver there was a lot of service line repairs and some meter change-outs during service line repairs. We saw 100 Tennessee One calls. That's down 10 from the previous month. Gallons not sold is about 1.3 million. That's 1.2 million greater gallons than last month. The drivers here are in service line repairs and work orders above at 244. But too, also, we experienced a lot of loss in flushing during the Mason Road tie-in, the 24-inch Waldron Road Mason Road tie-in. The Water Department overtime thus was up to 109 hours from just 39 in previous month. In our street department, chipper calls were 58, that's up 23 to April. Chipper pickups were 610, that's up 106 to April. Fewer tons and loads hauled to April, but more customers visited. The workhouse program man hours was 465, that's up 113 hours to April. 189 of that was at the chipper, that's 89 more hours than last month. In litter pickup, that was 106.5 hours, that's 6 more than last month. And then cleaning, we saw 169.5 hours for the workhouse crew, that's up 60 to last month. Signs installed 43, that's up 23 to last month. I'm not going to continue going down through the detail, but you can just plainly see that streets gets much busier outside on outside work when the weather gets better. We go down to fleet repair. 34 total vehicle repairs. That's down about 40 from last month. Again, as the weather goes, if it's not extremely cold or extremely hot, older vehicles tend to act a little better in that kind of weather. 17 in shop, that's down 9 from last month. Out of shop is up 1 to 5 from 4 last month. We put on 10 new tires, that's down 6. We put in 4 batteries, that's up 1. And 8 brake sets, that's flat to April. Overtime, just 1 hour of overtime in fleet in the month, and that's down from 13 in April. Winds in the month of May. It's taken just a little bit longer than we expected to complete. I'll forward you guys pictures tomorrow, but the grinder pump repair center is now complete. It looks beautiful. It looks like a house inside of a house. We've put siding on it all, and it looks great thanks to Jerry and his crew. They've done that work, including the construction, in-house. They located and raised several buried manholes in Lake Forest, manholes that we couldn't access prior to doing this. So we can now inspect lines that we just didn't have access to before with a camera truck. We located and raised and installed 2 rain-tight manhole structures found in the floodplain of Hurricane Creek. This is the creek that gets up above the sewer manholes. Infiltration occurs, and it goes directly to the Metro sewer service charges that we get out of those guys. The camera truck televised another approximate 1 mile or 5,000 feet of sewer line looking for inflow and blockages, and we're recording all this to DVD so that we can go back and look at progress and manage the quality of our repairs over time. We also received equipment to restart the smoke testing to find more opportunities to repair sewer breaks. So you'll start seeing more out of Jerry and his crew on that in the next week or so. In the water group, we started a state-mandated meter rehab program. The state tells us to change out meters at a certain frequency or span of time, and we started that up in May. There's only 2 taste and order calls directly to our department. I don't have anything to compare that to except to say that per Robert Brooks, this must be significantly lower than last month. We found and fixed 5 different leaks at customer meters. In some cases, of course, we don't know that until it dries up and we can see this made evident. But we go out and we may be changing out a meter and we find a leak, and that's just an opportunity for us to decrease water loss and sell more water. We confirmed the turnoff protocols at the 24-inch main at KFC. The tentative schedule, as I understand at this point, is for LoJack to make that tie-in on or about Thursday of this week. And apparently we were successful in making it through the last week of the month without me being there. So that was a win from Robert. I'm not sure how to take that just yet. Streets, they set up a new tool room. They're cleaning up the brush from the last week's storms. They took on extra mowing at the library, the multipurpose building, CID, and the front side of Veterans Memorial Park. And they also worked hard to optimize traffic flow at Old Nashville and Jefferson Pike. We installed a new green arrow that'll help to alleviate some congestion there. Folks on one side have to wait 30 seconds previously, so we allowed them the ability with this installation to turn right as they want to. And in fleet, we purchased a new toolbox and increased organization and improved look of the shop. We secured some tooling to promote efficiency, just tooling that we didn't have. We always should have, but we didn't. We took over the lion's share of the administrative function MARTA responsibilities. We had 2 cars that didn't pass. One was a CID vehicle and one was a PW vehicle, Public Works, and we're not going to repair those. We're going to deadline those going into fiscal year 12. They have between them about 400,000 miles on them. We made much better sense of vehicles to deadline versus repair in 12. A lot of the analysis work we've done with Chief here and making sure that we're fixing things that can justify being fixed based on Blue Book value. We have prepared the quotes and in some cases secured some items that are going to make a service truck more efficient in the field in terms of response time and actual repair turnaround for vehicles that break down on the road. And we also put some new office supplies and tooling into the fleet area. That way that we can, increase organization and track vehicle work a little bit more effectively. That last point there is important because I think in many ways we have figured out, we've justified, we've proven that what we have is a one mechanic operation. We've talked about 2 mechanics in the past, but the way we're going and looking at progressive, getting newer vehicles and getting away from the older and just working more efficiently with the right tooling and with the right skills, we're solidifying the fact that that's becoming a one-man operation. Okay? And that's my report.
Very good. We also would like to take this time to congratulate Greg, who's recently been married.
Thank you very much.
So we'd like to say congratulations. Human Resources.
Good evening, Mayor and Alderman. Just the report for May. Employee resignations, we were at 2 for May and 1 termination. That was down from the month before. No new charges or mediations. We continue to do well there. Continue to manage existing litigation from years past and see activity on that. We think that's going favorable for the city. 2 new workers' comp claims, but they were minor. We did have a visit from TOSHA, from Tennessee OSHA, so that went well. We have some follow-up and some things that'll make us stronger across the city. As far as care here enrollments, we've been trying to promote that. We've had about the potential for 833 appointments in the clinic so far this year, really since December, and we're at about an 80% usage, and we really need to be at about 90%, so we're going to do some things to promote the clinic and some things at the end of this month, a health risk assessment day, and you'll see flyers going up for employees and dependents for that. We have about 295 dependents' lives that are covered and about 155 employees. Our claims for the month of April was about 153,000. That was down about 16% from the month before. So we're continuing to monitor that as well. We've got some initiatives that are going on, such as NeoGov for the electronic application. That's been a slow process, but it's going to be an outstanding process for the city and a good cost saver, and we're very close there. So we'll bring some more to you next month on that as well. And then I want to encourage everyone, the library board has worked hard to try to come up with some things, a donut fundraiser. If you can't make it out, you can see me, Teresa, Donna, any of us. We will sell you those donuts before you ever have to get there. We're not only going to be at Save-A-Lot, Alderman Green's going to handle that team. We're going to be in the middle of the road at Stones River and Murfreesboro Road. So please come by. Alderman Broker, if you're running by practicing for the upcoming Howl at the Moon, we can put a box in each hand for you, okay? And that's my report.
Thank you. Also, we want to talk about Fred. He had a recent graduate and a daughter inducted in the National Honor Society.
That's right, that's right.
So we
I
want to
appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations to
Make
you
us-
and your
make us
family.
proud. Thank you.
Now we get down to recognizing people. First off, I want to talk about a very, very, very special lady. Not only is she a resident of Laverne, she is also works here in the City Hall, not actually with the city, but she does work for the chamber here. And it is an honor to talk about this lady. We talk about Laverne and the very special people that we have here. This goes to show the quality of people that we have here. And I'm speaking of a lady that won Mother of the Year, chosen for the Tennessee Justice Center. This mother has a daughter. She also has an autistic son. And she continues to work every day trying to help people. She's always on the computer looking for grants to help somebody. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Miss Deborah Boardroom. If you'll come forward, please. You'll notice this is a picture of her and her lovely family and her grandbaby that she's very, very proud of. And I'd like to read, City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Deborah Boardroom for receiving the Mother of the Year Award from the Tennessee Justice Center. The City of Laverne hereby congratulates you for receiving this award. Congratulations, Deborah. Where's that And they laminated this story for you and your family. So congratulations. It's an honor to have you working here. Thank you, Deborah. This is the night of the ladies. This next special lady, and this is a joke that goes around, and it is not a joke, it's true. But when this lady walks through, we all look at each other and goes, if you don't love Donna, something's wrong with you. I mean, she always has a smile, even during times of distress. It's always, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be, feeling distressed. She's never distressed. I mean, looking on her face. But this lady is a huge asset to this city. Miss Donna, if you'll come forward. We need to take notes from Donna when we're distressed. The City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Donna Bebout for your dedication and hard work for the City of Laverne. The city hereby recognizes you as Employee of the Month for June 2012 and thanks you for your excellent work you do for the City of Laverne. And you're always done with your Now, I believe, Chief, you have some special presentations.
Yes, please.
He doesn't like to wear his microphone.
Oh, I don't. I may need it tonight, though, because I'm not talking all that great. Vicki said, shut up. I thought she said stand up, so I got in trouble. There's a young man that I met last year that lives here in Laverne that is a very special young man. And I got to know him personally because of some things that I saw him where I was around. And a couple of months ago, I reminded everybody to be sure and remember National Autism Awareness Month. And it's because of him that I feel that way, because I know him better than any young person that I've met with autism. And he's awesome. He's a really good guy. And during Christmas for Kids, as we were collecting things, this young man had a table that was almost as big as one of these at the front, where he took up money He used some of his own money, and he collected things and bought things to bring so that other children would have for Christmas. And it was a huge table full of items that served many children in this city. When it was time to find support for Carry the Load, this young man stepped up, sent a couple of boxes worth of patriotic items, flags, etc., to the police department for us to have. He helped decorate out in front of the store and had water that he gave, the two that I told you about a while ago, plus the other folks that were walking with them. He loves people in the United States military and appreciates what they do. He understands very well. He loves the History Channel, for one. God's given him some special gifts, and one of those is loving people and being appreciative. So, Jonathan Eller, would you come up with your dad? Billy, you coming with him? His dad Billy's here with him, and his mom Debbie's coming. Hey, Jonathan, I'm gonna read a couple of quick things, okay? This is a Chief Citizen Service Award presented to Jonathan Eller in honor of your unwavering and tremendous support of the Laverne Police Department's efforts to provide Christmas for kids and your recognition of the Carry the Load project. We extend to you our sincere gratitude. Forgive me. He's very special. Jonathan, your citizenship and patriotism are examples we all should follow. It is my honor to call you my friend and to present you this Chief Citizen Service Award. And I signed it today. Thank you. I've got something else. I've got one other thing I want to do here, okay? Pardon? That's when they had to do my heart surgery last year. They had to cut my arm here and take some arteries out to fix my heart. He wanted to know what this scar was on my arm. They're pipes for the pump. Presented to Jonathan Eller in recognition of your support of the Laverne Police Department and our efforts to improve the quality of our services to the citizens we serve, I hereby appoint you an honorary officer of the Laverne Police Department. And here is you as okay? Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Huh? Yeah, that's right. Y'all forgive me. I'm an old daddy, and I appreciate young people that do the things like that in our community.
You're messing up our makeup.
And I've got another. Mine too.
Big time.
And to show you how he cares, he wanted to know what that scar was. I mean, he's very observant, and God gave him that gift to care about people, and that's awesome, I'm telling you. We have another young man that's here, and I'm going to be very careful. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about why or anything else, but you can kind of understand, I hope. If you can't, then see me after this is over, and I'll explain. Troy Bunch, would you come up? This young man is special, too. Maybe down the road someday, this is a Laverne police officer in waiting. We're not sure, but Troy stepped up to the plate and stepped out, and during an incident we had, provided a lot of help to us. And I'll read and you can understand then. Presented to Troy Bunch's Chief Citizen Service Award for your quick action, information, and assistance without regard to your personal safety, resulted in a fleeing felon being captured and brought to justice. In recognition of your brave actions, it is my honor to present you this Chief's Citizen Service Award. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you very much.
You get pictures?
Troy stepped up where a lot of folks would not have. he would have gone and not been involved, but he stepped up. And we always have our sworn officers and non-sworn employees of the month. And Andrew Garcia, would you come up just a minute, please? Now, Andrew had no clue why he was here. He thought he was coming. Come on up here. Andrew came because he thought he was going to be directing traffic like he does at city court and put his vest on. I told him, no need for that. And needed equipment. No, you're good. We just need to make sure everybody has a seat and so on. But Andrew is a special guy too. His attention to detail is second to none that I've ever seen. Now, some of you would say that he's kind of like me in some ways. Vicki says there are some things about me that indicate that I'm a little bit over the top sometimes, and some people might think that about Andrew, but he has a tremendous attention to detail. And Andrew Garcia, you are hereby selected as a non-sworn employee of the month for May 2012 as a result of your hard work, attention to detail, and excellence. Your work with City Court, our Are You OK program, maintaining integrity and professionalism in the accounting of evidence, and your willingness to take on whatever task is assigned to you, and your work ethic are exceptional. These are traits every employee should strive to attain. And I present this to you today, my friend. That comes with a special parking place. Okay?
Thank you.
And Andrew is a good guy. He's as dedicated and as loyal to this city as anybody you would find anywhere. Now, I've got three other guys that I called in tonight. Officer William Watson, Officer Alex Chang, Alejandro, and Officer Matt Moore. Would you three please come forward? And they're saying, what have we done now? Now, to give you an idea, Matt usually works PM shift, but Will and Alex work midnights, so they would normally need sunglasses to get here that time of day. But they had an event where all three of them responded back on the 12th of May. And it was brought to my attention, thank goodness, by someone who let us know about it. And they all three have a letter that says the same for each one of them. But I'm going to read the letter, and then we'll go from there. And it's addressed to all three. On May the 12th, 2012, each of you responded to an aggravated domestic assault. You were informed by dispatch the suspect was armed, and there was also a 6-year-old child in the house, along with the mother who was the victim. Upon your arrival, the victim advised you the suspect had displayed a weapon during a verbal altercation, and the suspect was armed in an upstairs room. You all went upstairs and confronted the suspect, who was standing in a doorway. He stated he had a weapon in his pocket. Another handgun was observed on a bed. You advised the suspect to place his hands in the air, to which he refused to comply. When he was advised a second time, he stated, if you want it, come and get it. Each of you drew your weapons and again ordered him to put his hands in the air and get against the wall. He again refused to comply and said, just shoot me, as he took a step towards you. After several more commands, the suspect finally complied and went toward the wall. Officer Watson then holstered his weapon and secured the suspect by grabbing both his arms. Officer Chang then approached and took a .357 Magnum handgun from the suspect's back pocket. While Officer Chang was attempting to take the weapon, the suspect began resisting and had to be taken to the floor and handcuffed. Officer Chang then advised the .357 was not loaded. A 9mm handgun was observed lying on the bed, and it was fully loaded with a round in the chamber. This was the weapon that the suspect held when he threatened the victim. Throughout this entire incident, each of you remained extremely professional and calm while confronting a very dangerous situation. You displayed a very high level of restraint in a situation that very easily could have, quote, gone bad, end quote, quickly. There was absolutely no way any of you could have known the .357 handgun was not loaded, and a 9mm handgun was certainly within the reach of the suspect. In addition, there were 2 innocent victims in the residence, one of which was a 6-year-old child. who potentially could have been seriously injured or worse. Each of you displayed the professionalism and judicious restraint expected of law enforcement officers. I am extremely proud of each of you and your actions on this occasion, and must say I am honored to work with each of you. I am presenting you, each of you, a commendation for your actions during an extremely dangerous situation, and will place a copy of your award in this letter in your personal personnel files, respectively. Thank you for a, quote, job well done, exclamation, end quote. Very truly yours, Mike Walker. And then there's a certificate, chief's commendation, that is given to each of you. And I'll sign them because I was having trouble getting them printed. But, Will? Nope, that's Matt Moore. Sorry, I was fixing to give Will. Matt. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Y'all don't understand, I don't think, how easy it would have been to shot this guy, him with a pistol. And it would have been shooting someone who was what other people would Monday morning quarterback as being unarmed. They could have not known. There's no way they could have known that .357 was unloaded. But that loaded 9mm was there for him to grab off that bed and shoot, which he had held. Anyway, Will. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, all of you are also selected this month. Thank you. All of you are also selected as the Officer of the Month. Now, Matt works second. You guys work PM. So kind of work out a little bit sharing the spot back there behind the PD, okay? It's yours. And just work it out amongst yourselves, maybe on days off and so on. But thank you all of you.
I think that's it. Nope, nope. Oh, the FOP. Do y'all need to sit down or stand?
Either way, Chief, we don't need to stand. Many people know on May 15th is Law Enforcement Memorial Week. It's when we traveled to Washington, D.C. to put officers on the wall that died in the line. We went out with the assistance of the city and the community. We raised funds to go up. We sent 7 officers. The first award we got is for the city of Laverne. Not loud enough. The first award is for the city of Laverne. It's a letter of appreciation from the FOP Lodge 85 here in Laverne for their support during Law Enforcement Week of 2012. I'd like to present that to the mayor and the board. We did one for the city, as well as our formal picture, which was done in Washington, D.C. while we were at the White House. Okay. Now we also have the picture made for the chief. You know, got to take care of the boss. But also, Chief's been in law enforcement a very, very long time and has never made the trip to D.C. So we also picked up a formal frame, and in the pictures is one of the ceremonies, as well as a tribute to Trooper Wall from last year that went on the wall.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. While I'm walking, I'll tell a cute little story. Everybody knows that my father was a firefighter, and my grandfather, and my husband, and my son. So I have all firefighter stuff in my office. Well, they made sure now that I have police, so y'all gonna have to step it up, firefighters, because this is about my 4th thing for police, so. Thank y'all all so much. All right. Good, good, good. All right, we're gonna move right into old business. We have the second reading, ordinance 2012-05, An ordinance to amend the 2011-2012 fiscal year general fund budget and capital plan for 2 public works vehicles. We did have a public hearing regarding this matter. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Second reading, ordinance 2012-06, an ordinance to amend the 2011-2012 fiscal year police impact fees fund budget for communication equipment. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. And please, if y'all have any questions, please stop me. Do I have any questions? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Second reading, ordinance 2012-07, an ordinance of the City of Laverne, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2012 and ending June 30th, 2013.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You vote? Okay, we need a roll call. Alderman Green.
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
No.
Aye.
Alderman Brooks. Motion carries. Second reading, ordinance 2012-08, an ordinance to amend Title 15, Chapter 6 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding no parking on the street, and amend Title 15, Chapter 7, Section 15-703 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the enforcement of illegal parking. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. We will do a roll call. Alderman Broker.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
No.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Green.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 8, second reading, ordinance 2012-09, an ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 6 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the Local Emergency Planning Committee. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 9, second reading, ordinance 2012-10, an ordinance to amend Title 18, Chapter 3, Section 18-306 of the Municipal Code regarding grinder pumps. Motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I didn't vote.
Are you going to vote?
Not aye, vote no.
Okay, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Broker?
Aye.
No.
Alderman Waldron?
No.
Vice Mayor?
Aye.
Alderman Green?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 10, motion to approve a 6-month extension to the agreement with TAMCO for the existing city telephone system. I know there had been some discussion on that.
We have to make a motion first.
So I need a motion to approve or deny, and then we can open up for discussion.
I want to make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. I need a second. I'll second it for discussion.
Basically, we're 3 months into this anyway. Even after the bids come through, talking to Bruce and TJ, it wouldn't be till August 17th until it probably was in place. I believe the existing contract would run through September 9th, so we're not out either way. We're probably going to give us a little cushion. This way, we're certain that nothing's going to our system's not going to get pulled for any reason. Same amount of money either way. No one's happy with this, but we're 3 months into this already, so might as well just, in my opinion, do it and not make the same mistake again in the future.
I have to agree with that. And we have discussed all of this with our attorney, so I think we're good for this time frame.
And Mayor, to be clear, the contract that you're voting on tonight is the one that I've modified. You'll note the line struck through, and I understand that TAMCO is willing to accept those, TAMCO is willing to accept those changes. So the contract you're voting on is as amended by me.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we've had some good discussion. Do I have any more discussion, questions, or comments? I have a motion to approve and a second. We will do a roll call. Alderman Green. Aye. Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Now we've moved to the consent agenda items. We discussed this in great length at the workshop, going over everything thoroughly. I need a motion to approve or to deny the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We will do a roll call. Alderman Green.
Aye.
Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Now we're moving to the new business. And we are down to the appointment of members to committees. At this time, the Local Emergency Planning Committee, we still have 2 vacancies, and right now, I know they put an interim in, so do go on and put the interim chief for Box in at this time? They're there for 30 days? Or do we want to wait? Or they need to have they could be the stand-in anyway.
Designee.
You could just defer it for a month. That way, if they do appoint another board
That way we don't
chief-
have to go through this. Let's
Exactly.
defer that. I'm going to defer that one. All right, next. We have an opening in the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We do have 3 applicants. I am going to ask our chairman of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, do you have an appointment
Yes,
or a
ma'am.
suggestion? Or
I have 3 good applicants here. I want to nominate one, and that would be Steve No. I think Steve has worked with the parks for probably over 12, 13 years. I think he'd be a great addition to the board. The other 2, I know one of them, again, really well, so I want to just say I have one board member that is going to step down at the end of this year, and also I have an opening on my Greenway coming up, and they both talked about this, so
Wonderful.
hopefully we can keep them around as well to apply in
just
coming
keep their
months.
applications.
So
That'd be great.
I'd like to nominate Steve No.
I'll second it.
I have a nomination for Mr. No and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Number 13. This is the first reading of ordinance 2012-11, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 29, parcel 29, located along Crothers Road, consisting of 92.82 acres from a PDR, planned density residential zoning district, to an R2 medium density residential zoning district. Received an unfavorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on May the 29th, 2012. I do know at this time, the people that own this have requested that we pull this from the agenda.
Correct. The applicant has requested that the item be withdrawn, and they will resubmit at a later time. So there's no action required by this board. It's more for paperwork and keeping that paper trail. So.
Okay. Number 14, ordinance 2012-12, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map of tax map 18P, Group C, Partial 5, located at 514 Old Nashville Highway at the intersection of Cheney Boulevard consisting of 0.5 acres from an R3 high-density residential zoning district to a C2 highway service zoning district. Received an unfavorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on May the 29th, 2012.
Motion to deny.
I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Do I need any discussion, have any questions, comments, or concerns? And I will say during this time, the applicant did not show up to the Planning Commission to argue for or against this. So I have a motion to deny. We'll do a roll call. Alderman Green. Aye. Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Excuse me. Number 15, first reading, ordinance 2012-13, an ordinance to amend the Laverne zoning ordinance as it pertains to signed variances. Received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on May 29, 2012.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I apologize. Number 16, Resolution 2012-05. A resolution authorizing the insurance of an interest-bearing capital outlay note series. I'm so sorry. 2012 of the City of Laverne, Tennessee, in an aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $990,000, making provisions for the insurance, sale, and payment of the said note, establishing the terms thereof, and the deposition of proceeds therefrom, and providing for the levy of tax for the payment of principal thereof, premium, if any, and interest thereon. I apologize.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Any discussion? We will do a roll call. Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
No.
Vice Mayor?
Aye.
Alderman Green? And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 17, a resolution adopting policies and procedures for the administration of federal tax exempt debit obligations. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Do I have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 18, Resolution 2012-07, a resolution to appropriate funds to nonprofit organizations for the fiscal year 2012-2013.
Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment
Okay.
to this. I'd like to ask that we amend it to withdraw the funds to Rutherford County PAWS
Okay.
for this year.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a
Wait a minute.
motion to, we need to do that first, to
Yes.
withdraw the pause. Okay, so
Correct.
this one that we're voting on is just to withdraw pause from this budget, okay?
From this resolution.
From this resolution. All right, we'll do a roll call. Alderman Green.
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Aye.
Alderman Waldron.
No.
Alderman Broker.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries to remove pause from the resolution on our nonprofit organizations. Now I need a motion to approve or to deny the resolution itself
As
The
amended.
as amended.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We will do
Mayor,
it once again.
I'd like to say
I'm sorry,
something
go
here,
ahead.
though, just going back. We did find out that PAWS is obligated to still service Laverne.
Yes.
we were not getting the service we desired, and we have been at least 2 years now trying to get that. So that's why I wanted to make clear to everyone out there that again, PAWS would still service us, but no sense of city throwing money away if they're not going to give us the service that we needed.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will do a roll call. Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
No.
Vice Mayor?
Aye.
Alderman Green? Aye. And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 19. Motion to approve the bid for the property and casualty insurance. Once again, we had discussion over this. TML was preferred. I need a motion to approve the bid for the property and casualty insurance.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 20, motion to approve recommendations regarding amendments to the said city health insurance plan. Again, we had a big discussion on all of this. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries. Number 21, motion to approve a proposal from Emergency Communications Network, Inc. for the Code Red notification system using GSA pricing.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 22, motion to appoint the building official.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve Randolph Salyers. If I can add that to your motion.
It was, it's not on here.
Okay. Just making sure for our legal paperwork, as our building official. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 23, motion to withdraw from Phase 1 of the Hazard Mitigation Program to purchase property located at 172 Parish Street.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve the withdrawal.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 24, motion to approve a commercial card agreement with SunTrust Bank for the credit card purchasing system.
Mayor, we've been going back and forth with the attorneys from SunTrust trying to get the language modified in the contract. We're not at that point yet, so I'd like to request this be deferred until next month.
Okay.
Motion to defer.
I have a motion to defer and a second.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 25, motion to approve bids and city purchases. A is bid security access control for Public Works building, and B is the police department lighting. So I know we had some discussions on these items before. I know we have a lot to discuss, Evan, because we've not really, the funding, so do I still need a motion
Yes.
before, okay.
Yes.
I need a motion to approve or to deny,
Or defer.
or defer. We can defer.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve. Structure
Okay.
after discussion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve in a second. The first being, now we can have discussion. We have the project for the Public Works building. We have discussed this. There are safety issues that's happened in the past. That's why this was brought up. It's not because we want something new or a new toy. It is for safety and security reasons. And there have been situations that even brought this forward. Did we find any line item money that this can come from?
There's a fraction of the total expense available in two places, in building maintenance in both water and sewer. But guidance from today, I don't know that it's safe to spend that money right now. It's about a $12,000 to $13,000 total expense. And I think 8 or so of that's available unspent in each of the two budgets.
Okay.
With such little amount of time left in the fiscal year, and there's so many expenses that we don't know exactly what's coming in before the end of the year.
Exactly.
We're going to be real close on meeting our budget. So I would recommend, I think Phyllis also and Greg would recommend this be deferred until after the first of the fiscal year, and you'll come back and approve it at that time.
I'd like to withdraw my motion to approve at this point.
Okay. Or we can do it, or we can vote.
Well, don't I have to pull my motion to approve back and then make a motion to defer?
Has there been a second?
There's been a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah,
talk
you'd have to
about it.
withdraw your motion
Yeah,
and then
so-
withdraw your second.
So we want to withdraw?
I'll
or-
withdraw my motion to approve at
Okay,
this
and you
point.
want to make that to a deferral,
And I'll withdraw my second.
okay? And are you wanting to second his deferral? Let Bruce catch up with us. All right, so I have a motion and a second to defer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're down to mayor and alderman comments. We'll start with you,
Mayor-
Alderman Gray.
Mayor, we actually have Part B on that.
Oh, so we don't
item
do
as well.
those as both? We need to
Right,
do,
we need to do
okay.
them individually, yes.
I'm sorry, I apologize. All right, Part B, the police department lighting.
Kind of the same thing as the previous one. We're not sure of the funding.
Okay.
Would recommend that we defer until
Motion to
next month.
defer.
Second.
Motion to defer in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now I'll let you talk, Alderman Green.
I'm just going to prepare a donut sale that the library board is going to be doing Saturday. Now be sure and come to Save a Lot and get your hot donuts fresh from Krispy Kreme. And be sure and put some money in the pot, because Fred and Donna's going to be standing in the middle of Murfreesboro Road. And I want no part of that. But do come out and support us. If you don't eat donuts, just put a little donation in the pot.
And what day is this?
Saturday from 7 to 10.
Sounds good.
Uh-huh.
That's AM.
Huh?
That's AM.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I can eat a dozen myself.
I know.
Easy.
Vice Mayor,
Got nothing.
got nothing. That baby will be here before long.
August.
Then you'll have some.
That's right.
I'm
Alderman Moore.
good, I got nothing.
Again, remember Music in the Park this Saturday. It's a new event. Come out. Again, we're hoping to grow off of this and hope to see a lot of people out there. Second thing is Code Red. Please sign up for Code Red. We urge all residents to do that. But I want to bring up two points that I've been asked about over and over. Number one, why did you not get a call at certain storms? You only get a call when you are in that polygon. So it's directly tied into the National Weather Service. Also, number two, you can download an app on your smartphone. It is not tied into the city, so that will follow you everywhere. If you take that phone to anywhere, it will follow you, but that's not tied into your service that you do through our website. So again, they're two different things. Both help you, but again, people were having problems with that, so I wanted to kind of clear that up.
And also, it's a simple answering the phone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Your phone rings, you answer, they tell you if there's an alert in your area.
There's no complications to it at all. Phone rings, pick up hello, and it'll tell you what's going on. Or if you choose to do other, you can as well. So
Absolutely.
Tom, what
Ma'am.
time is music in the park?
it starts at 7 o'clock. I would get there 6-ish just to kind of get a seat, I'd say. So, all right?
You bring your own seat, right?
We'll have bleachers out there as well, so it'll be
Awesome. Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, we'd like to remember that the FOP is having their fishing tournament and going on starting 4:30 a.m. in the morning. And so I've got a couple of challenges out there. I've got my fishing pole ready and going to have my donuts ready. And just so y'all know, I'm being tormented by one of the firefighters. So we've got a big challenge going there. So if anybody can sneak out on the bank and catch a fish and throw it over my boat, I've got to beat this firefighter, okay? So, but thank you. It's been a wonderful meeting. Employees, y'all are awesome. I'd like to thank the board the ones come out, help and support, you're very much appreciated. And now I call this meeting adjourned.